Like a party in here tonight. Thank you. Sure.
One person here.
Yeah, he's here for the lien. Yeah, so we can do that. We'll do the lien reduction first.
Yep.
Okay? As long as the board has no objection. Okay, so, welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming out. The September 9th, 2020 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order. Would everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged... Yeah, if everybody could silence their phone, that'd be great. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented tonight. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rule of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the particular case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chairman and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by the staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and the questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'll ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. From time to time, we do take cases out of order to accommodate respondents and witnesses that are presented here tonight. We have one respondent here tonight. If there's no objections by the board, we will take him first. He is the lien reduction case number. Just a second, but thank you for reminding me. I'll get there. 19-6805, 19-6805. So if there's no objection, we'll hear that case first and then move to the beginning of the agenda. Before we get started, we do need to talk about ex parte communications. I'll now ask the members of the board if they've had any ex parte communications with anyone regarding any matters that are coming before the board this evening. If you've had a verbal ex parte communication, please disclose when and where and with whom the communications occurred, as well as the sum and substance of any of those communications. If you've received written ex parte communications, please disclose the form of the written communication, who sent you the communication, and the sum and substance of those communications. Start down to 10.
I had none.
I've had none.
I had none.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first case will be the lien reduction, and presenting looks to be Mr. Baroni.
Did we do the minutes?
We did not do the minutes. Thank you. Okay, before we do that, we should do the minutes. Everybody has been given a copy of the regular minutes held on August 12, 2020. If the minutes are acceptable, I'll entertain a motion to approve. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Thank you. Our first hearing again is the lien reduction. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Code Board members. Tom Baroni, Code Compliance Director. At this time, I would like to introduce this lien reduction petition request in case number 19-6805, City versus William Curtis, property located at 109 South Glenarvan Avenue with a lien amount of $680. This case originated back in December 13, 2019, for a storing of boat inside his driveway unscreened from view. When this case was presented to the Code Board on February 12, 2020, Mr. Curtis was present. The following month, Mr. Curtis did return back to the Code Board and requested an extension, which was granted by the Code Board. With 12 inspections by the code enforcement, which totals $450, and the city clerk costing $100, totaling $550. Based on Mr. Curtis's explanation on his application of medical issues between him and his wife, my recommendation tonight to the board this evening is to reduce the lien amount from $680 to $60 for the 34 days that the boat was out of compliance on screens in his driveway.
Thank
Stand
you.
by for any questions.
Is there any questions for the code officer? Would the petitioner like to say anything to the board?
Mr. Curtis?
You good?
Throw myself on the mercy of the board.
Thank you, sir. Do any of the board members have any questions at all? Okay.
I have a question. So you said the total cost for, to the city was how much?
The total cost was $550.
$550.
Right.
We're asking for a reduction of total of $60?
$60.
60.
And I'm basing that off the explanation in his narrative, that he was dealing with some medical issues and his wife was dealing with some medical issues. So I think $60 is 10% is usually what we go by.
10%. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll ask the board for a motion.
Thank you.
All right, in case number 19-6805 for the property located at 109 South Glenarvan Avenue. Upon hearing the facts and argument from the city that the property owner, I hereby move the board recommend to city council that the lien be reduced from $680 to $60, contingent upon the lien being paid within 30 days of the council's decision, or it would revert to the original amount of $680, and the city is authorized to enforce the fine in accordance with the law.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Do we have any further board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Sir, they just approved a lien reduction to go to city council. We don't actually make the final decision.
Okay.
City council makes the final decision. It'll be heard at their, probably not the next meeting, but the meeting after that, I assume. And normally they do follow our recommendation, but they're not bound by it. So probably be a good idea for you to show up for that as well.
Show up for that meeting? as
Yes.
well? Okay. Next, what, 30 days?
It'll be, well, what happened is, assuming they approve our recommendation, you'll have 30 days after that meeting to pay the fine.
Oh, but come to the meeting and that is gonna be on what day?
We'll call you.
Okay.
It's the first week in October.
Gotcha.
Okay? And again, there's no guarantees,
Understood.
but they will hear our recommendation. I will be there to make the recommendation, and then council will make a decision. And then, assuming they agree with our recommendation, that's when the 30-day clock starts.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll start at the beginning.
Okay. Case number 20-0544, City versus Mohedan A.Y. Jelani for the property located at 10342 Council's Way. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 8-102-13B, exterior walls maintained in good repair. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated by me on January 29th, 2020. My inspection on that date revealed exterior stained walls. I left a door hanger with a re-inspection date of February 10th. My re-inspection on that date showed no changes, so a notice of violation was prepared on March 11th with a compliance date of April 2nd, 2020. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My re-inspection on August 18th revealed that the site was not in compliance, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the September Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the violations taken by me on February 21st and July 23rd.
We'll accept those in evidence. Thank you.
Photo number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Photo number 2 shows the stained walls, and photo number 3 shows the stained walls. The resident did contact me in April asking for an extension due to a COVID outbreak, stating there was an elderly relative in the home and they were trying to self-isolate to protect that relative. I did grant that extension. The resident contacted me again in June asking for a further extension, which I again granted. The site is now in compliance, and I'm submitting an affidavit of compliance and seeking a finding.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Officer Allen? Okay, I assume the respondent is not here?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
In case number 20-0544, I move the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace code did exist on the property located at 10342 Council's Way. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there will be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any board discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case, please.
Case number 20-1531, City versus Vincent R. and Cynthia J. Atkins for the property located at 5513 Temple Heights Road. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 1034 sanitation, keep premises clean. Section 8102 13B, exterior walls maintain in good repair. And Section 103B, sanitation, grass, weeds. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on March 16, 2020. My inspection on that date revealed 3 violations: a damaged exterior wall, overgrown conditions, and debris in the backyard. I left 3 door hangers with a reinspection date of March 30th. My reinspection revealed no change, so a notice of violation was prepared on July 17th with a compliance date of August 13th. I posted the notice on the site, and the notice was also posted at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on August 18th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was scheduled for the August 18th. On August 18th, for the case was scheduled for the September Municipal Code Board meeting. I've had no contact with the resident. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on July 17th and August 18th, 2020.
Thank you. We'll accept those.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation. Exhibit number 2 shows the damaged siding, and exhibit number 3 shows the overgrown backyard with piles of debris. The site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
So is this a rented property or is there actually an owner there?
There's an owner there, sir.
Any other questions? Okay.
And you said you haven't had any contact with the owner at all?
Yeah, he's not contacted me at all during the whole process.
Any further questions? And assume the respondent is not outside waiting?
I don't believe so, no,
Okay.
sir.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go for this one.
Okay, thank you.
In case number 20-1531, I move that the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code exist on the property located at
5513 Temple Heights Road. Sections 1034, 8102, 13B, 103B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before October 14th. If the respondent does not comply with the order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation and the actions taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day per fine for a total of $75 a day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further board discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries unanimously. Next case, please.
Case number 202376, City versus Michael Turrell for the property located at 5213 Longwood Drive. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 810213B, exterior walls maintained in good repair, and Section 810213C, roofs maintained in good repair. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on May 27th, 2020. My inspection on that date revealed a tarped rear roof and stained exterior walls. I left 2 door hangers with a reinspection date of June 8th. My reinspection on June 10th, 2020 revealed no changes, so a notice of violation was prepared with a compliance date of July 6. I posted the notice on the site, and a notice was also posted at City Hall, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. The resident did contact me asking for an extension for the roof because of a financial hardship from the COVID pandemic, which I did grant, but they did bring the exterior wall staining into compliance. My reinspection on August 24th showed no change, so a notice of hearing on that date was, and the case was prepared, and a case was scheduled for the September Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence of the site taken by myself on June 10th and August 24th.
Thank you. We'll accept those in evidence.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation, and exhibit number 2 shows the tarp on the rear roof area. At this time, the site is in compliance, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm seeking a finding.
So all of those are in compliance?
Yes, sir, all the violations are in compliance at this time.
Great. Any other questions for the code officer? If not, I'll entertain a motion. Thank you.
In case number 20-2376, I move that the city approve by greater weight of the evidence of the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 6908 Rough Spring Way in Tampa, with the applicable code sections of 8-02, 13B, and 8-02, 13C, with the roof maintenance. This motion is based on the sworn testimony of the board received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which were received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Just a point of order, maybe I heard you wrong, but I thought you said 8-02. In fact, it should be 8-102. So if you wouldn't mind correcting that.
8-012?
8-102. Right?
All right, point of order. To correct that is 8-012.
No, no.
102.
8-102.
102.
102 13B and 102 13C.
8-102 13B and C.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries unanimously. Next case.
Case number 23422, City versus 5608 East 130th Avenue, LLC, for the property located at 5608 East 130th Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 1035 sanitation abutting property and Section 103A sanitation grass weeds 150 inches? No,
Feet.
feet, 150 feet. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated proactively July the 22nd, 2020. My inspection revealed overgrown grass and weeds along the right-of-way and inside the vacant lot. At that time, I left door hanger with the compliance date of July the 27th, 2020. My inspection on the 28th of July 2020 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of July the 28th, 2020. No one was at home, so I posted the notice at the front door, and I requested copies be mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on July the 20th revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on the 17th of August, 2020, showing the violations. Exhibit number 1 shows a notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 is overgrown grass and weeds along the right-of-way. Exhibit number 3, overgrown grass and weeds inside the vacant lot, the 130th Avenue Street side. And overgrown, exhibit number 4, overgrown grass and weeds inside the lot facing North 56th Street.
Thank you. We'll accept those. Any questions for the code officer? I have one. So I assume there's a house on this lot, and then there's an empty lot next door?
No, sir, the whole lot is a vacant lot.
So where did you said you put a notice on the door. What door?
The address of record is a property on 53rd Street, sir, who owns the vacant lot. So I posted it at the front door.
Okay,
as
but all
nobody
these
was home.
violations occur on an empty lot?
Excuse me?
All the violations occur on an empty lot? Very good, thank you.
Yes, sir. As of today's date, Mr. Chairman, the site is now in compliance, and at this time, I would like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm just looking for a finding, sir.
Thank you, we'll accept that. Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
In case number 20-3422, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 5608 East 130th Avenue, Section 1035 and Section 103A. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer along with other evidence including photo affidavits and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record for this hearing. I further move that there will be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second? I'll second. Any further board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Motion passes. Next case.
We are going to skip one, so that Officer Smith go ahead and stays at the podium. So case number 23687, City versus Miller Genus the Third LLC for property located at 12702 North 53rd Street. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 103B sanitation grass weeds. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively August the 5th, 2020. My inspection revealed overgrown grass and weeds in the yard and on the right-of-way. At that time, I left a door hanger with the compliance date of August 6, 2020. My inspection on the 6th of August 2020 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of August the 10th, 2020. No one was at home, so I posted the notice at the front door, and I requested copies be mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of record. I also requested a copy be posted at City Hall for the 10-day requirement. My inspection on August the 18th, 2020 revealed no change, and at this time I would like to submit photographic evidence that was taken by me on the 18th of August, 2020 showing the violations. Exhibit number 1 shows the notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit 2 is overgrown grass and weeds on the north side of the property. Exhibit 3 is overgrown grass and weeds on the south side of the property. Exhibit 4, overgrown right-of-way on North 53rd Street side. Exhibit 5, overgrown right-of-way on East 127th Avenue.
We'll accept those in evidence. Thank you. Is there any questions for the code officer? Thank you.
So, maybe I missed it. Did you say if you had any contact with the owner?
Sir, I've had contact with the owner previously. There is some college students living there, and they just don't like to cut the grass. And they don't do what they say they're going to do sometimes. So it's been a constant battle, honestly, just to try to get the grass mowed in the 2 years that
Yeah.
I've been in the north zone.
Is the property still in violation?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay.
Not right now.
Okay, so you have an affidavit of compliance?
Yes, sir. As of today's
That-
date, the site is now in compliance, and I would
Awesome.
like to submit an affidavit. of
We will accept that.
compliance.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Who cut the grass?
As long as somebody did. Thank you. Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Thank you.
I think it's my turn. All right, case number 20-3687. I move that the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 12702 North 53rd Street, Code Section 10-3, subsection B. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further board discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please.
Case number 20-3532, City versus Jihad El Badawi for the property located at 407 Bullard Parkway. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12921, parking residential property. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Director Tom Baroni. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were properly served.
Before I give my testimony, I just want to show you the two cases that Officer Smith presented tonight. One of them is for sanitation, grass and weeds, and it says 150. And the other one says sanitation, grass and weeds. Just to know, so you guys know what the 150 is, we use that violation when there's a vacant lot. So just, that's the difference with the sanitation, grass and weeds. And like if there's a home there, there's a structure there, we just use the grass and weeds. If it's vacant lot, we use the 150.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you for the clarification.
No problem. Good evening, Tom Baroni, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively by Jose Silva on July 28, 2020. His inspection noted a vehicle parked on the grass area at the residence. Since this was the second violation within 14 days, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of July 30th, 2020. Since no one was home, he posted the notice at the front door of the violation and requested a copy be posted at City Hall. He also requested copies to be sent out certified in first-class mail. to the address of the registered owner. On Saturday, August 15, 2020, inspection by Officer Laurie Smith observed vehicles parked on the grass as well. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violations. Exhibit number 1 shows the notice letter posted at the front door. Exhibit number 2 shows a vehicle parked on the grass taken by Officer Smith. Exhibit number 3 shows another vehicle parked on the grass area taken by Officer Smith on August 15th. Exhibit number 4 shows another vehicle that same day parking on the grass by Officer Smith.
Thank you. We'll accept those into evidence.
At this time, I'd just like to bring Lori up and so she could swear that she saw these violations.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Chairman and board members, I can confirm that I took the pictures on August the 15th that Director Brony is presenting this evening.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for either code officer?
The property is in compliance, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of
Thank you.
compliance.
We'll accept that. Any other questions by the board? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll give this one.
Thank you.
In case number 203532, I move the city is proven by a greater weight of the evidence that the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace Code did exist on the property located at 407 Bullard Parkway, codes 12-921. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from code enforcement officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and the notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. Next case, please.
Okay. Case number 25047, City versus Alexander Alexeyev for the property located at 13213 Sanctuary Cove Drive, Unit 102. This case has been pulled from tonight's agenda.
Okay, thank you. That concludes all of our cases. We move now on to unfinished business.
Yes. Case number 20190, City versus Amar and Ria El Jabali for the property located at 7460 Terrace River Drive. An affidavit of noncompliance was submitted by Officer Jose Silva dated August 14th, 2020 for section 12860. Case number 201143, City versus David Werlin for the property located at 514 Broxburn Avenue. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Director Brony dated August 28th, 2020 for sections 28A1 and 12861E4. Case number 21265, City versus Evan Labite for the property located at 417 Druid Hills Road. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen dated August 13th for section 12861E6. Case number 22150, City versus Rosalie Levine for the property located at 10044 North 52nd Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Allen dated August 12th for section 828A1. Case number 2290, City versus Pascal G. Felix for the property located at 417 Bellevue Avenue. Deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. Case number 22547, City versus MC2 Innovations, Inc. for the property located at 502 Courtney Drive. Deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight. And case number 22563, City versus National Retail Properties, Inc. for the property located at 11801 North 56th Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Laurie Smith dated August 18th, 2020 for section 1034.
Very good. We have no other board action. Is there any other new business by any of the board members? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. This motion is adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.